Well, good afternoon. This is Mike Hagan. I'm here to talk to you again about important topics for new managers and especially how HR can help new managers succeed in an organization. One of the important things that we want to focus on today is training and development and how vital that is as part of a successful organization. Let's begin in our discussion of training and development and talk about how important training is when a new teammate comes on board and how we can help them adapt to and be ready for the requirements of the job at hand. First of all, training is important for new employees because when an employee joins an organization, they've been vetted by human resources and by the hiring manager to make sure that they meet the basic requirements of the role that is being offered. But what we find in organizations that new employees are rarely fully ready from day one to be successful in the new role. So some level of training is going to be required to make sure that that employee is ready to meet all the requirements of that job. Secondly, when an employee joins an organization, although they and the organization have assessed each other to make sure that it's a good fit for them, that employee still has a lot to learn about the organization itself. For instance, companies have specific missions, strategies, and tactics that they implement and that are part of who they are as a company. There's proprietary processes and procedures that are likely not going to be known by a new employee that must be imparted. And all of these things are needing to be communicated and instilled in the new employee for them to be successful. So let's kind of take them one at a time. We're going to start first by talking a little bit about onboarding and orientation. And this is frequently an area of training where HR plays a very large role. Most mid to large size organizations are going to have an HR-driven onboarding and orientation program. And that program is going to help an employee learn the company's culture. It's going to help them learn the company's values. Frequently, the mission statement will be learned as part of that training. The vision of the company for success in their market will be communicated, and the broad sweep of the company's goals will be communicated as part of an onboarding program. During an onboarding program, it is also frequently appropriate to communicate various safety and health knowledge that the employee needs to have. That could include safety of the customers of the company, but also employee safety, fire drills, safety procedures in the event of workplace violence, health benefits, and how to take full advantage of the company's benefit offerings. All of these things can be included in an orientation and an onboarding training process. In addition to that, important policies and procedures are usually communicated during an onboarding session. And finally, regulatory and risk management concerns are communicated to employees and instilled in them so that they can be successful and compliant employees from day one. The next thing that is part of a new employee training that is important to consider is department-specific or role-specific training. Frequently, employees joining a particular department or starting in a specific role will require a very focused level of training to make sure that they are able to use the technology complement that is part of success in their role, that they understand the particular department's policies and procedures, and that they're aware of the processes and tactics that make that department successful. And finally, if the new employee is a leader within the organization, such as a management associate or higher, they're going to need to learn a particular set of human resources processes, payroll, employee time management, performance management, and the like to make sure that they are able to successfully exercise the levers of control and authority and management specific disciplines that are necessary within the organization. Once an employee is onboarded and they're a successful part of the organization, now it's time to start looking at their future development and how they can continue to be successful within the organization, how they can grow, and how they can develop within their role, or how they can be made ready for promotion. Uh, One of the big areas of focus in development within the role are enhancing the employee's knowledge, skills, and abilities so that they'll able to be a more successful employee within the organization. So these types of trainings can be completed as computer-based trainings and programs like HealthStream. They could also be instructor-led training in the classroom. Craftsman and apprentice relationships can be set up, especially in the trades. But there's also opportunities for cross-training to ensure that the employees expand the breadth of their knowledge and abilities and make them more valuable, and it helps with business and operational continuity. When employees are transferred from the department to department and get new assignments, usually they will complete on-the-job training, and this can take the case or can be set up in the form of side-by-side on-the-job training, where someone who is the lead within a department or someone who is the expert or subject matter expert is paired with the new employee in the department. So side-by-side on-the-job training can take place. Also, as employees are made ready to work independently, proficiency tests can be administered to ensure that the employee meets the minimum level standards of performance. The final type of training that I want to talk about today is promotion readiness training, or preparation for promotion. In this case, employees may be given stretch assignments that allow them to make more decisions or provide more leadership within a given team. They can also be set up in mentoring relationships where there's a mentor that comes into their working day life, who comes alongside them and helps coach them and ready them for the next level of leadership. And then finally, many organizations have developed very sophisticated, multifaceted, and frequently multi-month or multi-year leadership development programs that touch on all aspects of leadership and making sure that employee is ready to lead in the next level in the organization. Finally, as we close, I'd just like to say that training and development is more important than ever as a driver of success in an organization. It helps attract and retain and develop one of the most valuable assets that we have in organizations, and that's our human capital, our employees. It builds the knowledge, skills, and abilities of the workforce and helps enable them to achieve the mission. And I would say that any organization that's serious about accomplishing its mission will leverage the power of staff development and training to capitalize on those valuable human resource assets, the employees of the organization. Thank you. Hope this was helpful to you as a new manager, and that you can take full advantage of all the training resources that your company has to offer, and that you can avail yourself of all the development that is available to make you successful in the organization.